Hello! Today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on the Procedural Dungeons plugin. We're going to head right off to the tutorial and start with making an actual dungeon. This isn't going to be what you build, but instead what you can edit and add rooms to. To do this, type /dungeon create, and then type the name of the dungeon you want to create. This could be anything, but for the sake of today's video, we're going to be doing test 1. You've now created a dungeon. To add rooms to the dungeon, you must first build a dungeon. To show you what I'm exactly doing here, I'm not going to do anything with these ones for now. I'm just going to build a little platform and add a little area on top because you cannot make a dungeon that is 1 block tall without some very weird bugs happening. Now, how do you select it? To select your dungeon, you must be using WorldEdit, one of the prerequisites to this plugin. To get a wand from the WorldEdit plugin, we'll type in /wand. You now have your wand. You will punch the top corner block, and then on the opposite corner, you will right-click. You've now selected this area. This will be your dungeon. To make it a dungeon, you're going to need an exit on the north side and an entrance on the south side. These can be anywhere on the north and south side, but I recommend in the middle. This doesn't matter. You could put it on the side or on the right side. All that matters is that it's on the very north side of the selection and not the block. Once you're on the exit, you will type in /dungeon set exit. The firework shows that this did in fact work, and the firework will launch right where the exit should be. The exit for this one is going to be right here. Now, to make an entrance. To make an entrance, you will go to where you want the entrance to be on the very south side. You can see on my little mini map there. Or if I press F3 and look in the bottom left, it will say the direction you were facing. Mine doesn't show up because I have a mod that blocks it, but it should be in the very bottom left. Now, once you're standing on the entrance, you will type dungeon, add a room, test 1, which is the name of our dungeon. This will just be the name of the dungeon you created. Then you press enter. You might see an error, but that doesn't mean it didn't work. As you can see right here, this shows it has successfully been created and it will be labeled as room 0. Now, this room might be what you want to generate. To generate it, you'll go to where you want the dungeon to be and then do /dungeon, generate the name of your dungeon, and then whatever coordinates you want to spawn the dungeon at. For the sake of this, we're just going to do it right where we are, and you can actually spawn it inside the world you were in. Now, to do this, you just click enter. You've now created a very simple dungeon. Now, let's say you want to do something more complicated. You want to add more rooms. That's where this comes in. We will do the same thing and set an exit and then an entrance, and that will make room 1. Now, we can go to the same entrance block. And now we have the first room and another first room we made. But notice it's random. Everything is completely random. And if we do that command again, it will change every time. It is going to be randomly selected between these two. This can be any number amount that you so desire. Now, you might be wondering what this is. Anything that you put inside of an area that you make a dungeon room will be made into the dungeon. This includes mobs and chests. So we're just going to fill this chest up. And then we select this area. /dungeon, set exit. Get back in there. And then /dungeon, add room, test 1. Now, let's generate our rooms and see how this changed. You can see it's a bit offset because I was standing on top of this block. But if you want that to change, you just break the block and stand here when you make it a dungeon room. Now, you see, we have the same level as down here. This works with modded and unmodded entities. Items will not work. So we have the same level and it's the same mob. Now we can check the chest and see that everything has stayed the same. And then same for over here. Don't mind the lighting bug. That's just Minecraft being goofy. Now that we've generated this, you might be wondering what happens if something like this gets overridden. It simply just overwrites it, and anything that is not affected won't be affected. So this wasn't getting generated over by anything, so it's not affected. But this right here, these air blocks and the fence were overwritten. Now, let's say you want to get more complicated. Maybe you want more rooms, or you want this to be very rare. To do that, you're going to have to go into the Edit GUI. To get there, type /dungeon edit, and then the name of your dungeon. Click enter, and you'll see our 3 rooms. Now, these 3 rooms can be edited, and if we allow this, they can be used multiple times once this number runs out, or once the number of rooms runs out. So since we have 3 rooms and we have 5 max, after it hits 3 rooms, it'll automatically recycle. But if you have more rooms than you have the number that you want allowed, this number, it won't recycle it, and it'll just use one, and it won't use any of the other ones that have already been used. Now, let's test this out. Let's say we want our last room that we made, the room with the creeper, to be a little rarer. So we can see here the generation rate is 100%. We can or increase this by increments of 1 and 10 per increasing and decreasing. Let's decrease it by 50%. One more. There we go. Now, we'll click here. This will delete it. We can see there's a no option and a yes option. We're going to click no for now. And then we're going to click room 2, which is back. We are back to this menu. Room recycling again. That allows us to reuse rooms after and once this has run out. Here, you can rename the dungeon, which right now is test 1. Let's rename it to test 2. And as you can see, it has been changed. If you have a lot of dungeon rooms, you can click next page and previous page to view different ones. Let's put it at 10 rooms, and we have only 3, so it should repeat most of them 3 times. Let's generate a new dungeon. /dungeon generate, and then now, since we changed the name, it's going to be test 2. Forgot to put the location, and then once you put the location in, press enter. And as you can see, it's a lot longer, and this room is a lot rarer, only spawning once.